During the presidential campaign, Donald Trump talked a lot about immigration, and it was about keeping brown people out of this country. And the reason he didn't want the brown people in this country is because they were criminals, they were traffickers, they were drug dealers, they were murderers, they were crazy or insane. Keep them out of this country. Now, if that were true, I guess that would be a noble cause. But when it came down to it and they start deporting these brown people, they aren't criminals. We haven't seen one criminal that he's deported. We've seen a lot of women and children and elderly people that are perfectly innocent. So I don't know what he meant by that. Then, shortly after becoming president, he decides to pardon some 1,000 insurrectionists that attacked our U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021. Now, these people are no doubt criminals. They've been convicted in a court of law. The upside to that is they're all white, mostly all white. So he wanted to keep the criminals out, but he then releases 1,000 criminals into this country. And it doesn't stop there. Even the brown people, if they have enough money, they can come into this country. Remember El Chapo? He is a drug kingpin who's in prison now. But for some reason, Donald Trump allowed his entire family to move into the United States. These are relatives, the family of El Chapo, and they got to move into this country. They're probably illegal immigrants now too, but Don's fine with that. Why do you think that is? Could it possibly be there's some money involved? I guarantee you that's what that's about. And this last thing he did, he released George Santos. Now, this guy is an absolute joke. This guy is without question a criminal. He was convicted in a court of law. Hell, the Republicans don't even like George Santos. Why did he release him? Now, at first, I thought it was he'll do anything to distract and anything to own the libtards. I thought that might be the case. But then I started thinking about Ghislaine Maxwell and the deal he cut with her to go to an easier prison. George is a talkative motherfucker, and he's already talked about some of the dirt going on in Congress. Maybe this was a deal, even though the Republicans don't like him, Donald Trump didn't like him. Maybe it was a deal to keep his mouth shut. Now, George Santos goes on CNN and tries to compare himself to what happened to Jesus Christ. Dana Bash laughs in his face. This is the silliness going on with the Republican Party. And if they're telling us that they don't like criminals and they're trying to keep criminals out, bullshit. They're bringing criminals into this country. They're releasing criminals into this country because the entire Republican Party is a crime syndicate.